Hello, adventurers. My name's Tyler.
And I'm Richard.
On today's episode, we're talking about Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
Welcome to True Strike.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back to the show.
I just can't stop playing it, Richard.
We're not talking about a TTRPG. No.
Sorry.
We're going to talk about Marvel Rivals. We're going to talk about some video games because we've been talking about other stuff, and we want to talk about Marvel Rivals because that's what we've been playing. It's been consuming most of our game time.
Yeah.
It's actually cut pretty severely into our Baldur's Gate 3 time. Which is disappointing to everyone.
I'm so sorry.
Specifically me, because I have been itching to beat Baldur's Gate 3. You know, that one game that's actually relevant to the podcast in question.
But is it still relevant? Is it still? Does anyone care about Baldur's Gate anymore?
It's relevant to me. Everybody cares about Baldur's Gate 3. Everybody cares, especially those who haven't beat it yet.
We started Baldur's Gate 3, our initial run through. When it released. And folks, we are very close to finishing it. We're what, 99 and a half hours? We got
another 20 hours.
Yeah.
So close.
We'll beat it eventually.
The problem is that we play video games very similarly, especially games like this, as in we like to leave no stone unturned.
Yep.
Which keeps leading to more things.
More stones. There's so many stones.
Every stone, there's more stones underneath those stones. Under the stones? And then there's another stone who tells you to go look at this other stone because all these other stones need to be saved from these bigger stones that you didn't even know were being oppressed by the other stones.
It's insane. There's so many stones. And you got to turn them all.
Yeah. So we have not beat Baldur's Gate 3 yet. And part of that is the fault of Marvel Rivals. The other hot game that's out right now that I'm sure some of you are playing.
At least
one
of you.
Are you playing it? I want to know.
Oh, yeah. If you're playing Marvel Rivals, who's your main?
Yeah, let us know.
And I say who's your main, as in, like, me and Richard have two mains for each, you know, like, each, what's the word I'm looking for? Type?
There's Vanguard strategists and duelists.
Yeah. And we've got a couple.
DPS, healer.
We both flex probably more than we should because we're the type that are like, oh, you guys can pick first. Oh, you all pick DPS. Okay, I guess we'll heal.
Yeah, the insta-lock in this game is strong.
Yeah. I have done some insta-locking recently. Release night of Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
Insta-lock immediately every game. Because the only way. Everyone wants to play the new
everybody wants to play the new ones.
Yeah. So.
Well, I don't want to play Reed because I'm not a duelist. Right?
Yeah, but he's more Vanguard.
I'm a Vanguard
he's a tank.
Or a strategist. He's got a little fist on his icon.
I still think you would be a duelist if you weren't pushed into the corner of filling the
playing
other
a Vanguard
roles.
all the time. Yeah. Vanguard is my life.
You suit it and you do well. You get like MVP like every match we play.
What I have to play.
You've gotten good at it. This is the Marvel Rivals episode. Sorry. / other video games and stuff, I'm sure. But yep, so if you're here for Daggerheart, it's not here. We're not talking about Daggerheart this week. If you're into Daggerheart, come back next week.
I know some of y'all are playing this game because right now, I just pulled up the stats because I was curious.
Oh, I didn't expect this.
Steam only.
Yes.
Right, so this is just Steam only charts. Mm-hmm. Right now.
Live.
512,087 people playing.
Right now on Steam.
Right now on Steam.
Can you do me a favor?
24-hour peak, 644,269. And the all-time peak as of 20 hours ago is that last one. So 644,269.
That's just Steam. That's impressive.
Yeah, just Steam. So that's not including people playing
They're doing well.
Any other areas.
Doing good for a game you told me you wouldn't be interested in.
I said I was going to hate it.
Yep.
I was like, I'll play it for like an hour. And then we're playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
I'm not playing it anymore.
Yeah.
Because you know why? I already played Overwatch and I hated it.
Can you do me a favor?
What?
Can you pull up how many people are playing Overwatch 2 right now?
Ooh, that's going to be a scary number.
Is it though? What if it's 700,000?
You really think it's 7?
No, not even a little bit. But it could be.
All right.
What do I know? I don't know Steam.
What we got here?
I don't know. What do you got?
SteamDB, let's load her up.
He's loading her up
right now.
Actively.
17,667.
That's less.
24-hour peak, 27,800. All-time peak was 75,608.
Respectable.
That was 17 months ago.
17 months ago. Oh, man.
According to SteamDB. So yeah, as of right now, you're looking at 17,000, or we'll round it up. So 18,000 players on Overwatch versus the 510,000 people playing Marvel Rivals. Now it's interesting when you're looking at the Steam charts too. There has been some dips, recently, very recently. So if you look at like like from December, like through the end of December. Sure. Excuse me, it's very flatlined. Like it's like straight across.
Very consistent.
It's very, very consistent. But then when you get into January, you start to see an actual waveform forming. So there are some like peaks up and downs and stuff like that.
Those people are trying to finish Baldur's Gate.
But those
before the new season.
Well, I think those are the people that are really kind of getting to the point where we were kind of at before this new season dropped, which was getting to the end of the season and not having really anything to do other than play games.
Yeah, no cherry to chase.
Yeah, exactly. No, no battle pass to finish out or anything like that.
They already hit Grandmaster and competitive.
So yeah, to be fair, we're going to see something like that. But still, that peak is still going back up, and that peak has actually risen. As of just like days. So it's
for us.
Got some crazy numbers. So I know some of you are playing this.
Actively right now
on my screen.
Now. I'm just imagining like listening to this podcast while playing Marvel Rivals. Turn us off. You need the awareness. Yeah. The audio cues in that game are genuinely pretty good, very helpful. Learn your cues, the difference between a Luna ult on your side or the other. This is very important. Or a Punisher for that matter. Jeez. So you not a big Reed Richards fan? No Mr. Fantastic?
I like Reed Richards. I just don't like duelists.
But he's not a duelist. Air quotes.
He's got the fist on his icon. He's a duelist.
Yeah.
So that is my first complaint with this game.
Is that he shouldn't be a duelist?
Is that...
That's your number one?
Yeah. There's not I wanted a balance between the three classes.
Oh, but there's a ton of...
The Vanguard, Strategist, and Duelist. And it is heavily weighted. The vast majority of everybody in this game is a duelist. Then the second biggest is Vanguard, which is a very small amount, and then Strategist is a smaller amount.
Sure.
And we just got 4 new characters announced, right? One of which is going to be a Vanguard, 2 duelists, and a Strategist.
Yep.
So it's not like the balance is tipping.
It's not shifting toward our favor.
Shifting towards more of any specific class other than duelists.
Yeah.
That just keeps getting bigger. That is my only complaint with this game, is that there are just so many duelists. And it's not even like you'd think my complaint would be that people are playing too many duelists. It's just because, I kind of understand it. That's where a lot of the really good, fun characters are, and people want to play specific characters, so they end up going duelist. Because when you look at the roster, unpopular opinions abound here. I'm coming at you. Who do you got? The boring people like Doctor Strange.
What? He's great.
And you have Groot and Captain America and Thor.
Oh, there's some big Thor and Captain America.
But you do got Hulk,
out there,
who's awesome. You got Penny Parker, who is awesome. You got Magneto, who is awesome. The rest of them are kind of garbage.
You're upsetting so many people unnecessarily. Like, you know what? Half the Avengers. Who needs them?
I know, who needs them?
Magneto,
Captain America.
Right. I wonder if the direction, though, going forward, if like those symbols, those categories, or those baselines is like the recommendations, try to balance out your team with a decent mix of these to come up with like your team should, blend well, right? You should be good to go. Every strategist isn't the same level of healer.
No, that's
right?
true.
So you end up in a team with one invisible woman as your strategist. You are not getting the same amount of heals as you would if you had a Mantis. Yeah. Or a Luna. Doesn't mean that having an invisible woman doesn't have its own, benefits. Exactly. But maybe 2 really helps you out there. Same when you have, your Vanguards. Like a Hulk is not the best tank for shielding the whole team. Maybe you want a Doctor Strange for that. But, Hulk is great for jumping in the backline and disrupting the enemies or taking out their healers and things like that. Getting in and getting out very quickly. And you look at Mr. Fantastic, and he has this, I keep saying like, oh wow, he should have been a Vanguard, right? Because his kit leans kind of towards the like defending the team and defending himself. He has a decent bit of health and the ability to just tank and ultimate and shoot it back. Like that's very Vanguard behavior. So I wonder if the longevity of this game is going to include more and more heroes that kind of dip their toes in other like categories. Like, oh, this is primarily this is definitely like, we're going to put them in the DPS category, but they can heal their teammates. You know what I mean? Like you end up with that.
You're thinking that the 3 categories are more suggestions.
Yes.
Than actual categories.
I think they have a good chance of getting that way eventually.
Yeah.
Especially in a world where like, look how big DPS is. I mean, we're getting Ultron, right? He's super leaked. People thought he was going to be this season because there's voice lines, art, abilities, everything's like.
Oh yeah, there's so many leaks for everything. A lot.
And he's going to be a flying strategist. And he's, you can send out drones and all this other stuff, but doesn't mean once you throw flight in there, if his primary does a decent bit of damage, you can't say, he's not potentially capable of doing some good duelist damage. Mm-hmm. But if he leans more towards strategist, then hey, strategist. And even the term strategist doesn't necessarily mean healer.
Yeah, true. Is that going to negatively impact people making proper pickup groups, though?
That's where I think they putting that little icon will allow people at a glance to at least attempt to put together a balanced team.
Which is not the case most of the time.
Right. But at least,
I can't tell you how many games that I've played where it's almost been, or it actually has just been solid duelists.
Yeah.
Like nobody plays support. Nobody wants to play a Vanguard.
It's okay. They all know where the health pickups are.
And they're all just playing duelists, which at this point I have just decided to join them. Because if
so that you're not the only healer.
Yes, because I will play a Mantis.
Where were you?
If I have like a Cloak and Dagger or a Sue Storm to like back me up or whatever like that. But like I'm not going to play a Mantis on a team of all DPS.
Yeah,
that's just not happening. I'm going DPS, and we're all going to be DPS. We're all dying together. Right. We're all dying together.
You all did this.
You all did this. You forced me into doing this. I'm not going to play a tank amongst all those DPS either. I'm just going to DPS. If you want to be all DPS, we're going all DPS.
Deaths per second.
Yeah.
I saw it mentioned earlier this morning actually that some of the differences between strategists is interesting. Where looking at Adam Warlock, right? Who he has decent like healing capabilities, and Soul Bond is interesting. Talk about strategy being a strategist. Soul Bond is a great example. Combining everyone's like hit point totals, right? It's like, oh well, that just means all the squishy people are connected. It's like, yeah, well, if they're connected to the tank, oh, we'll all take damage at the same time. Yes, but what are the chances of a couple people on the enemy team wiping out everyone's total hit points at the same time?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. You're all going to survive this fight, and you're going to kill those two and move on to, the next objective or the next area or the next fight. But one of the things they brought up was, well, sure, he doesn't have the same healing capabilities of a Luna, but he has the capability of dishing out more damage than a Luna. And if he's dishing out more damage, then in theory, he has less damage to heal. So that's the weird balance of an Adam Warlock, is if you can land your shots, you will win fights. You're a very offensive strategist. You're a very offense-heavy healer. And that's kind of cool. I am real bad at Mantis because I don't consistently land headshots under pressure. I don't know how you do it. When I'm full panic and I have to land a headshot to get my ability back, guess what? I'm not going to do it.
Well, I mean, you'll get it back eventually. You just got to wait for it.
I could just play Dagger.
You just got to wait for it.
Auto aim.
That's too big brain for me.
That makes no sense to me.
Because Cloak and Dagger is 2 characters in one.
Yeah.
You can't learn to play 2 characters.
Easy. They play the same.
So yeah, our mains. What are your favorites? Are you
Every
top
category?
2? Yeah, top 2, top number 1 and second for each category. Because somebody's gonna take your top 1. So what's your second?
Sure. If
choice?
I had to pick 2, and I'll put them in order, even, or at least I'll try to. Right now, it'd be Cloak Dagger followed by Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman's much newer. They could flip at some point, but for the majority of time and stuff, I've been playing Cloak and Dagger. If I move over to DPS, it would be in order, probably Moon Knight followed by Magic. I almost wish it was the other way around, but in more situations than not, I feel like Moon Knight serves me better with his ability to hit multiple people, and I don't get a lot of chances to play DPS. So what I do, it's usually a situation where we're capturing a point, and then I'm like, well, it'd be really nice to hit like 4 enemies with 1 attack. So I go him a lot. As far as Vanguard, Hulk first, followed by Strange, in that order.
Strange, really?
Yep.
That surprises me. Like I wouldn't have put Strange as your second.
Strange is that the tank I'll play when no one else is playing tank. When no one else is playing Vanguard, I'll roll Strange, because at the end of the day, if everyone behind my shield is squishy but able to output a lot of damage, then as long as I'm holding up a shield, I'm keeping them from dying. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. I just like I can't get, like, Strange is just so hard for me.
His primary is definitely like, it's in a lot of situations hard to land.
Mm-hmm.
Good damage, very slow rate of fire, slow travel speed. The portals, you get 1 every couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Like the ult, fantastic, great ult. His ult's so good, probably one of the best in the game. If you haven't played this game, basically he runs or floats in Eye of Agamotto's, and the enemy's souls pop out of their body a couple feet, and you got about like 3 seconds to either damage the body or the soul. And if you do an AoE with him, like dispelling your dark magic, and it hits both, it damages both at the same time, which is nuts. It's super good.
Yeah.
Those are mine.
Okay.
What about you?
So my number 1, starting with Vanguard period, is my overall number 1 too.
Yep.
And that's Penny Parker.
Mm-hmm. Which, God, I don't understand how you're so good with Penny.
My favorite character in the game, but my favorite Vanguard period. I just have so much fun playing that character. Solid Vanguard choice. Yep. Love it. My second Vanguard is probably, I would have to go with Venom.
I was waiting on you to be like, I don't have one.
Yeah, no, I'd have to go with Venom. I'm not nearly as good using Venom as I am Penny. Mm-hmm. But he is a lot of fun. I'm really jonesing for some more Vanguard options though, because Venom is not high on my list. I mean, he is fun, but I want something different. So I'm waiting for more Vanguard to drop.
We'll see how the Thing is.
I think Thing is probably gonna jump up there. We'll see.
Yep.
As far as my duelists are considered, my number 1 is Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
Love Squirrel Girl. So much fun. I just recently really started playing her. I played her like once or twice when we first started and didn't like her as much.
Which is funny because when this game was coming out, you gravitated towards her immediately.
I thought she was going to be great, but then I played Penny and like got stuck on Penny.
Yeah.
It was just such a great character overall. But yeah, Squirrel Girl has really elevated now. Super fun duelist. My second is what I thought was going to be my first for the longest time, which was Psylocke. Psylocke is a ton of fun.
I've never actually played her in a match.
Yeah, she is just got a super fun kit, being able to get in, disappear, get back out, move around the map with general ease, staying invisible, and kind of like popping up behind people, surprising them. A lot of fun. And then as far as my strategists go, Mantis, way up there.
That was another one I was when you mentioned Mantis. You were maining Mantis for a while, I was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yep.
Like, it's impressive.
I really, really like Mantis, which is interesting.
Will carry a team
because Jeff was like one of my most exciting characters, and I was like so hyped for Jeff. Like I was like, Jeff is going to be like so much fun, and he is a lot of fun.
He's fun. He's adorable.
He is adorable, and he's a lot of fun.
He's a menace.
But I just have a lot more fun playing Mantis. Mm-hmm. My second is right now Jeff. I really do like playing Jeff. He's a lot of fun, but I have a feeling that might change.
Because of Invisible Woman?
No, not because of Invisible Woman.
Oh.
I think because of Rocket.
Really?
I started messing around with Rocket.
You've been playing Rocket more.
And he is quite interesting. And his kit is pretty fun. And I think he's going to be a pretty solid choice. I don't think he's going to beat out Mantis, though. I think Mantis is going to stay my first pick. But I think that Rocket might replace Jeff on there. I don't know if I like Invisible Woman yet. I'm not sure. I have to actually really play her.
I was going to say, that's my fault because every match we played, I was like, Hardlock. And you're like, oh.
Eventually, I'm going to try her. I don't know if I'm going to like her as much just because I don't know. I don't know if she's as easy to survive as I have playing Mantis. I think I have an easier time surviving.
Well,
so
from my experience playing yesterday, the only character that I have more damage blocked in regularly is Hulk. The damage blocked with her. I think we played one match last night that we got slaughtered, and I had like 9,000 plus damage blocked with her, and only one death.
Yeah,
the whole match, and it's because you're about to die. Double jump.
Yeah, just double jump.
You're invisible.
Invisible.
They stop looking for you.
Yeah,
you heal up. You re-engage.
That's interesting. But yeah, I think I will like her. I think she's going to be a lot of fun because her kit does look fun.
It's super cool.
But yeah, right now those are my picks, and still, it's just Mantis and Penny are like my tops, and I don't know. I think I have to say I think I like Penny more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. You're a monster with her.
It's just such a good.
Have you seen the strange Invisible Woman combo?
No.
So you remember back when the game launched, people were getting cheeky and setting up the portals where one was at a doorway and one was off like a ledge.
Yeah.
So people would rush out the door and fall to their deaths. Well, now we've gotten to the point where people are looking for it. Usually there's the really funny Mr. Fruit video where he's like in chat warning everyone like, careful, I can hear a strange portal out the door. Don't rush out. And the only person in chat with him, like voice chat, Rob, his best friend, ran full speed out the door and fell out of a portal. And he was like, Rob, like, what the heck? And he's like, whoa, how was I supposed to know there was a portal there? He's like, I told you. He's like, I wasn't listening. It was amazing. Well, people generally look for those now. So what people started doing is putting a portal to the side of the door. Invisible Woman sneaks up with her ability to push people. And as soon as they rush out the door, she shoves them into the portal.
That's a good one.
And they fall. And I'm like, it's genius. It's so good. And significantly harder to counter.
Yeah, a lot harder to counter.
So that's a fun one. I do like the little team ups and stuff.
Yeah,
the actual built-in team ups, but like just what we're looking for, combinations. Can do this game.
It's interesting because, like you said, like you were making fun of me for saying I wasn't going to like this game.
Yeah,
and I love it,
rightfully so.
And why is that though? Like, why do you like Marvel so much? What is it?
Marvel in general, or this game?
This game, Marvel Rivals. Is it because it's free and it's there?
No, because we'd be playing Fortnite if that's the case.
Yeah,
which we were playing. We're not trying to say we're not above saying we play Fortnite.
Yes, we do.
We totally
Fortnite.
do.
Yeah,
we all the way back when you had to build, we did not play Fortnite.
No,
and we had a blood oath that if they ever brought no building to the game, we would play it. And they did. Unfortunately, they brought no building, and then we had been playing it ever since then. And this current season of Fortnite is actually really good.
Yeah,
it's sick. And then this game came out, and we're like, best case scenario, Richard hates this game. We don't like it, and we don't play it anymore, and we go back to playing Fortnite. Unfortunately, we do like it. Yeah. So now we have absolutely no time for anything else.
And a lot of people like it. And it's interesting. It's made such an impact, and it's a really well put out game.
What's it doing right? Overwatch did not do.
Exactly. Well, I guess did not do or failed to keep doing.
Yeah.
Because Overwatch held a lot of people captive for a long time. Yeah, like years. And then I never played Overwatch 2. I played Overwatch 1. I probably have less than 4 hours total in Overwatch.
Yeah. Why didn't it grab you?
So I did not start Overwatch when it was first launched. I was brought into it because I had friends that played it that wanted me to play with them. So
like most multiplayer games,
if it doesn't catch you at kind of pulled in. And my understanding is that things like roll queue were not a thing in the original launch. That was something that was put in after the fact. Roll queue existed in the game by the time I tried playing it.
Yuck.
I hated it. I hated roll queue.
Now you self-implement roll queue.
and I did not like it. And then I got into the game, and just overall, it just didn't click with me. And I don't know why. Maybe the heroes didn't click with me the same way. And maybe it has something to do with original heroes versus established IPs. But I'm not like a Marvel fanboy either.
No, like you didn't care about this game at all.
No.
Like when Rivals was coming out, you did not care.
Yeah.
And Overwatch has endearing characters.
Yes, they have really cool character designs and really awesome characters. I genuinely like some of the original character designs in Overwatch. Not enough to play the game. I mean, they're cool, but it's not enough to make me want to play the game. And when I did play Overwatch, it just didn't click in the same way. It's just the gameplay, the moment-to-moment gameplay felt, I don't know, a little bit slower and a little bit more tedious. Like the games in Rivals feel faster.
It's so quick. Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels like the action is more like focused, and it's less like just spongy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I remember playing Overwatch, and I remember there being instances where, like, you know, we were doing the convoy type mission, which I don't know what it's called in Overwatch. Is it called convoy? Maybe. I don't know.
Push the payload.
Push the payload. Yeah, payload or something like that. Whereas, like, you know, there's somebody on the payload, and I am literally just full on unloading into them, just clip after clip, and their health bar is just never moving. And they're just sitting on the payload. And I've got somebody next to me also doing the same thing. And they are just sponging up everything. And I'm also not dying. And nobody's really doing anything. We're just kind of at a standstill, just looking at each other, doing this thing until something of substance actually happens to move things along that takes longer than it should.
Yeah.
Whereas in Rivals, everything seems so much high action and so much more faster. Like, you know, the payload's getting pushed and we're on it, and it takes like one or two ultimates and we're just wiped, or we're staggered. And now that we're staggered, it's a lot harder for us to recover from that because we're running in one at a time instead of regrouping like we should be.
Or that happens so much.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just never really clicked for me. Overwatch just didn't do it. And I think roll queue was a big part of it, which I'm terrified of roll queue becoming a thing in this game. Mm-hmm. We joke about the self-implementing roll queue, which is funny because I do often, like you do, look at a group composition before I make my choice. And like as much as I want to play Psylocke or Squirrel Girl, they're both duelists, I'll often log into a game and look at the board down there and be all like, well, we already have 3 duelists. It's really better if I play a Vanguard because we need a tank. We need something for blockage. Or it's really better if I jump on Mantis, because right now we have a tank, we have, you know, multiple duelists, but nobody is playing any type of support. There are no heals on this group. That poor Hulk is about to have the worst time of his life if I don't jump on Mantis and follow him around.
Yeah.
Right. So I am kind of self-implementing a roll queue, but not really, because if I do just log on and I want to play something fun, I'm not going to have to go into a game, back out of a game, go into a game, back out of a game. Until I find one where I can be the one that locks into a specific role that I want to play.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned they're quick matches too, so I think that also, when I go into matches, speaking of Mr. Fruit, he mentioned this thing where him and Rob look at it where you're going to win 40% of the matches regardless of what you do. You're going to lose 40% of the matches regardless of what you do. And 20% of the matches will lean one way or the other depending on what you do. So always try your best, but sometimes you're just going to lose. Mm-hmm. And the matches being as quick as they are, hey, you know what? If I'm not playing competitive, okay, lost. Yeah. Next, let's go again. And I mean, oh my god, queue time, getting into a match.
Oh, queue time is nothing.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You just, and you're in a match. You're like, oh man. And I hope they've mentioned like not wanting to buff or nerf or change things too much. They've mentioned not wanting to add a roll queue. So I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. We'll see, because the game's fresh.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs it yet either, though.
No. I think people are complaining about it, and a lot of people are asking for it. But I think it's just because they're so used to Overwatch having it, and they feel like they need to have this.
Goodness, you know what else? I think the people asking for a roll queue are the people that want to play DPS.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I want to play support, I'm not asking for a roll queue.
That's
I'm
true.
already playing support.
You're already playing support. You're
I'm
getting
not.
to play
If I'm
what you wanna
Vanguard, I'm
play.
not asking for roll queue. I'm already a Vanguard.
You already got what you want.
But if I want to play Psylocke, who's healing me?
Yeah.
I want to play Psylocke. I need some strategists. You guys need a roll queue.
I think that's why I like the two that I like, because Psylocke, yes, heals are great, but I can dip if I need to, right? So it's easier for me to get in and get out and not have to depend on a healer. Squirrel Girl, I can hold back and just mortar somebody to death.
Oh, her long range potential.
Because her long range potential is so amazing. So if I don't have a dependent healer, or if we only have one healer and they're busy following the tank around or doing other things, it doesn't matter that they're not focusing on me, because I don't have to be up there in the mix trying not to die.
And we've had some buffs and nerfs coming into season 1 proper. And I was actually expecting some bigger swings from the developer. Mm-hmm. And I think they were very careful. I think they were very, they didn't want to make no one want to play Hawkeye. He's a high damage, long range fighter. They just made it to where it takes a little longer before you're at 100% charge, which is fine. That means you're not very quickly snap shooting people, to death in one shot. And, range fall off and some other stuff. Same with Hela, maybe we just bring your time to kill down just a tiny bit without changing the character fundamentally. And I think Overwatch over the years really strive to balance everyone so that every character was equally viable. Mm-hmm. Because you want the Torbjorn to be just as good as your Genji. And that's not how that would work. It doesn't make any sense. You have the guy who's making turrets that are auto shooting versus the ninja who you have to spend time mastering the moves and stuff to deal equal damage in a way, have equal chance of success. And I get in a perfect game, a perfect world, sure. No matter who you choose, you are just as viable. But skill floors and skill ceilings exist for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think Rivals is handling that very well right now, thanks to the higher levels of competitive having the ban system.
Yeah, the ban system is nice.
Where, hey, guess what? This season, Hawkeye and Hela, Mantis, Luna with her ult. These heroes are a little, overtuned. They're a little too strong. Instead of nerfing them into the ground, you can just choose to not have Hawkeye available this round. All right. What about the other team? Who do they want to, block out? And sometimes both people vote on the same character and all right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that means there's another character still in here. And you can make, a character that's safe because you have someone on your team that is really, really good at Hulk. So you make sure Hulk is safe. Or sometimes you're not worried about a Hulk, but you are worried about the damage increase Hulk gives Iron Man. So instead of banning Iron Man, you ban Hulk. Well, now the enemy's not going to pick Iron Man. Or Doctor Strange, potentially. Because the benefit Hulk was giving both of those is now negated because you banned Hulk.
The select ban is really a genius
It's so
idea.
Good.
Yeah, because
it's fantastic.
It's, you're banning that from your use as well.
Yes, totally.
Your team is no longer getting that benefit as well, but you're also not having to face against it, which is really good. But yeah, I like the idea that Marvel Rivals hasn't shied away from that. If everyone's broken, no one's broken attitude of things.
Something I meant to, I'll dip back to earlier. We were talking about, people crossing realms and stuff. Specializations. Wolverine. Great example of what I was getting at with the little bit of toe dipping and stuff like that. And Wolverine might as well be his own class. And this is what I like about Rivals right now. People making tier lists were consistently putting Wolverine at the bottom.
At the bottom tier.
Awful hero. Bad time to kill. Abilities aren't special. He's not good. And then you have players realizing, oh, wait, he's really good at taking out tanks because his damage scales based on total health. So tanks die just as fast as your squishy healers if you're playing Wolverine.
Yeah.
And his abilities allow you to kidnap tanks.
He's the bane of my existence.
Yes. We're just playing Penny.
I hate a good Wolverine.
He's like, ah!
I was screaming the entire time last night because we had 2 rounds where there was a Wolverine that was just on me, would not leave me alone, relentless.
And that's what a Wolverine is for. A Wolverine has to get into the back line, take out the tank, kidnap them, murder them, find the next tank, take them out too, rinse and repeat. They're not there to clean up your strategists and stuff like a Hulk might even be, right? So you have a counter tank disguised as a DPS because where else would you put him?
Yeah.
I'd almost say, hey, that's a strategist, right? Like the strategy that goes into a Wolverine is pretty high level.
Yeah, it's
but he doesn't
crazy.
But he doesn't have any healing, so they won't call him that.
Yeah, it's just funny that like we're really seeing Wolverines excel right now. And the last time that I'm used to running from people is when I'm playing a Mantis.
Yeah,
like I'm terrified of Iron Fists.
Oh my goodness,
chasing me down.
Yes, when I'm playing
all the time as I'm a Mantis, I'm used to running away and yelling for help and being chased down hallways, putting people to sleep and everything like that. And I'm not used to having that happen when I'm playing a tank.
Right.
And now the last couple of days have been me screaming down hallways, shooting webs at Wolverine to hold him off for just another couple of seconds before he just completely destroys me. And I'm not used to that as a tank. I'm used to that as a strategist, not as playing a tank, which is just hilarious that that's where we're at right now in the current meta, which is just people learning how characters work.
Yep.
Which is wild.
It's funny. I mean, everyone's at the point where like, oh, Luna ult, just hide, just wait, like let him capture the point. What's the point? Like if you don't have a Iron Man ult or something where you can just take that Luna out in one burst and everyone around her, what are you gonna do? Because she's invincible otherwise. And maybe that's not okay. Maybe that is fine. I mean, they changed it to where the exploit essentially of being able to switch back and forth really fast between her damage and healing.
Oh yeah, I was doing that when I was playing Luna.
Totally.
Yeah.
It looked really cool. Now you've got like a half-second delay, so you actually have to like thoughtfully pick, or do you want to boost damage or health? Which most people are always going to go with health.
Yeah, they're
like
going
I said,
with health. Yeah,
you're invincible for like 12 seconds. Which is wild. And then if you have a Loki on your team, they could copy your ult, and now it's 24 seconds of invulnerability. It's nuts. But people are learning to play around it with either A, extremely high damage, like burst damage ultimates, or just waiting it out. Trying to pick off players that aren't there on the zone or whatever. Everyone's just figuring it out.
It's just such a weird thing to be as wildly successful as it is, coming off the heels of something like Concord.
Ooh, yeah.
That just...
Hero shooters are dead.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a market you can break into. Overwatch has got it cornered.
Yep. Yeah, and that was kind of like the narrative when Concord hit, is it was like, okay, it can't be done. Like, it's a dead breed. It's dying breed. Like, it's not going to be successful anymore. And here NetEase is with this game that had a really strong play test. Like the beta was amazing, and then all of a sudden hit with this, and this is what people are playing, and it's what's getting a lot of people back into games. And it's funny because you watch a lot of streamers and stuff like that were kind of, I think, getting bored of playing things like Fortnite and Call of Duties and all this stuff, and just not enjoying themselves on stream anymore, to now having energy levels that are like back up here and like actually having a lot of fun with a game, which is interesting considering that like this is not something that we've seen in a lot of games, because the full roster of characters available,
so many at launch,
everything is just there. This isn't like Apex Legends where you're buying characters. Each season
is one character. You have to pay for them.
And you're paying for it. Yeah. You're not buying anything other than just skins. There is like, this is as clean as it gets when you refer to microtransactions being cosmetics.
Yeah.
Because you're not even buying characters. You are literally just buying skins if you want to put anything into this game at all. And arguably, this game has some of the best looking skins.
They're so good.
On just baseline characters that you don't have to actually pay any money for. They just look good already. And they're only more fun if you just want to expand the skins and just make them look a little bit different.
Are the skins pricey? Yes.
Oh, very.
It's definitely like the Fortnite model of like, hey, guess what? The game is totally free. You're getting a lot of game for that free. And if you want to look like Shaquille O'Neal, you're going to give us dang near $20.
Yeah.
Except, you know what? I give them props in this game because the currency is like $1 for $1, right? Am I misremembering that?
No, I think it is. Yeah.
So they're not hiding behind any like weird conversion.
It's still that weird conversion. Like you're still not just being able to use money on things. They're calling it coins and lattice and all that fun stuff. So there's still something there.
But 100 is 100 pennies, but at least.
It's very close to the same conversion rate. And it is pricey, not gonna lie. Like some of these skins are very expensive when you consider that you're literally just buying a skin. It is a bit expensive. But it's interesting because I've never really had a problem with that.
Right.
Because I look at a game like this, right? And my brain sees it differently. My gamer brain is all like, well, Richard, have you had $40 worth of fun from this game? Have you? And I'm like, well, yes, brain, I have. So if I were to give them $40, it's no different than if I would have bought this game for $40. Would I have bought Marvel Rivals for $40? Yeah.
No, you would not have.
I think I would have.
You would not have.
After playing the beta, yes, I would.
Did you play the beta?
Yeah.
When?
I did play it.
You played the beta?
Well, not enough to get any of the free stuff, but like just participated.
Yeah, but okay, so all right. So when the game was releasing though, you didn't want to play it at all. I didn't want to
play it at all. No.
So you didn't like the beta? I'm confused. Hold on. You after playing the beta, you would have paid $40 for the game. But before the game came out, you didn't want to play it at all.
I think that right now, like looking at it, like seeing what it is, I think it is worth money.
Sure.
I think it's worth money. And I just didn't think that it would be this good.
Yeah.
I thought it would be okay. I thought we would have some fun with it. Sure. I didn't think it was going to be this good.
I remember the very first trailer came out, the gameplay trailer. And I think you, me, and some other people in group chats and stuff, we had watched it, and this game looked so floaty. Like none of the animations, sound effects, moves you're doing. When characters were running, it looked like the ground was moving beneath them at a different speed than their legs were moving. It just looked like none of it was coming together. And then you fast forward to actually playing it, and it feels great.
I think the turning point for me was the Jeff trailer. Which I had to remind you that I even sent that to you.
That is fake news.
Because it's funny, the message that I sent you it actually says that like I have no interest in playing this game. I'm probably not going to play it very much when it comes out. However, this Jeff trailer has changed my mind.
He's adorable, that Jeff.
This has changed my mind.
I can't believe we're getting like a Jeff movie because of this character doing so well in the game.
Wild.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is the fun thing about Marvel, and that enough people communicate within the branch of Marvel that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
That like, oh, we're going to take this like character who's in some of the comics and stuff. We're going to put him in this game. People are going to think he's freaking adorable. And then now we're like, maybe we should put him in the movies. Like, yeah, of course. You're going to sell so many toys.
Yeah.
Freaking sharks with legs all over the place. It's adorable.
But yeah, it's just such a weird situation to have a game that I don't want to call it polished.
Why not?
Because
it's very polished for a free game from a mobile game developer.
I guess, yeah. So
yeah, when you go to the main menu, every single thing has an animation.
Yeah.
So you like highlight a character and they have a pose move, and you don't get that from most paid games, let alone a free to play game.
Yeah. Okay, I'll call it polished then.
I just can't believe this came from NetEase.
Yes. Like, I mean, for one,
props. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's still, like I said, coming off of the heels of something like Concord, it's just amazing to see something free that is going to thrive. And they're obviously making money. People are obviously buying skins. You see it when you play the game.
Free characters and maps forever.
Yeah. And it's just like, you got to wonder, is that going to change? Where's the breaking point on this? Like, when does the bad news come?
I think... So it's interesting right now, right? Like we're getting 4 characters this season, which is insane. You know, a lot of people are thinking 1 to 2, but I do think each season going forward is going to be 2. I don't think we're going to keep up the cadence of 4 new characters every season. I know they're kind of calling this one a mega season, right? Maybe some people are disappointed they don't get as many because they were so used to having so many. But if you got 4 every like 3 months, the character list would be crazy. Like, what are you going to do in 3 years? like, you're so many characters to
They've
pick
got
from.
a very large roster to choose from.
And
Probably the biggest roster.
I just worry that they will try. And granted, they did great going into season 1. Tiny balances. If they do tiny changes here and there, I think we'll be okay. But if they're like, all right, players are still complaining about Hawkeye, time to make it to where Hawkeye's unusable, then what? No, I give up. Like,
yeah,
if no one is safe, then whatever. But I understand maybe we overtune somebody upon release and we got to walk him back a tiny bit. Because if Hawkeye comes out and he's crazy powerful, maybe the next character just has a really good way of countering a Hawkeye. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe you got to walk him back a tiny bit. You don't got to make it to where his kit's unusable. Because even with Hawkeye, he's a great example. Oh, it takes longer to, get that full power charge now when you're looking at an enemy. But no one is ever using his spread explosion arrows. Well, they brought in the distance between those. So now it's more usable.
Yeah, it's actually a usable thing.
So, we made him a little, I can't even say weaker. We made him, his time to kill technically a little lower in some situations, but we made one of his abilities better.
Yeah.
So, great. Let him use his full kit more often. Even better.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that is cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to roll queue.
No, I really hope they don't. I think that's going to hurt the game more than anything else.
So
I think it'll disappoint me if they do something like that.
Totally.
So I'm just hoping that they don't immediately just listen to the vocal minority.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that happen in other games, and it really does, it leads to a quick downfall because the customer's not always right. And like I said, the vocal minority is not always what the game needs for health. And I'm afraid that if they do listen to too much of that, then it's going to end to a premature downfall of this game when I think they could ride this high for a long time.
Oh, dude, Battle Pass is awesome. The amount of skins and stuff you get from one, was it $9-10 purchase?
Yeah.
And you're getting 10 skins.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Even if there's just one skin in there you want.
Yeah.
That skin is less money than buying an a la carte skin.
Yeah, the a la carte skins.
You just have to earn it by playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do wish, and maybe they'll work on that this season. We'll see. I wish you could earn things every match you play. I don't like that. Oh, you can earn the chrono tokens to get stuff from the battle pass if you complete daily quest. I don't like that because if you've done all your quest until those reset, you're playing for fun. And but it's a video game. Yes, I play games for fun. However, if I'm trying to work off a battle pass, let me earn some stuff for the battle pass every match I play, even if it's not a crazy high amount.
Yeah.
Let each match mean something. Don't make me come back every day to do the next daily quest.
Yeah. But then again, they're trying to get you back every day because it's a free-to-play game at the end of the day.
Yes, but
so that is their draw.
Are they going to hook me more with that or burn me out faster?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on how far they take things.
Yeah.
Do they start cycling out maps when they cycle in new maps? These are all things that we don't know.
Good point. Yeah.
Or do they just keep, expanding the roster to where, you're only playing one specific map every, 10, 12 games because there's so many maps available now.
Right. Speaking of it, you were talking about, you got $40 worth of value out of this game so far. How much would you pay for Baldur's Gate 3?
How much would I pay? Oh my gosh. Well, okay.
What's your dollar for enjoyment?
How much did I pay for Baldur's Gate 3? I bought the digital deluxe version,
right?
Which is what, how much was that? It
was either 70 or 80.
I think it was $80.
Sure.
And I'm not disappointed in that at all.
I mean,
at all.
That's just a couple of skins and Rivals.
Yeah, right. That's
4 skins.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting. Yeah, that's a lot more content.
Totally.
And a lot more diverse content.
Yeah.
Allegedly, we haven't finished it. So
yeah. Well, maybe by next week we'll have it finished. We'll see. Anything else you want to touch on Rivals while we're here?
I just want to know who you guys are playing.
Yeah, let us know who you're playing.
And what do you not like about this game? What's your biggest fault with it?
What would you change?
Yeah, what would you change?
What's your issues here? Mm-hmm. And why do you prefer it to Overwatch? Oh, and if you prefer Overwatch, let us know why.
Yeah. Why? Are you the still 17,000 people that are still playing Overwatch? How's that queue going? I know Marvel's is I can't get a drink of water.
Yeah.
It's game after game after game.
I'm like, if I Like we literally will be in a match and it's like, oh crap, you queued up. All right, I guess I'll play another one.
Yeah.
After this one, can you back out though?
Yeah, can we
please?
not just don't press the button one more time?
No, I gotta go to bed. I have to use the bathroom. Something. Like just please don't. I don't want to get banned for not being active for 30 seconds. Hey, you made it this far. Be sure to check out next week's episode. We're gonna do something pretty cool to celebrate our 100th episode.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah. Yay us indeed. For everyone who's enjoying Marvel Rivals, congratulations. It's a pretty cool game. I'm glad you like it. Richard was a downer and a hater, and look at him. He's all smiles and happy now. Yeah. Thanks, Marvel Rivals. But for now, I've been Tyler.
And I've been Richard.
And we've been True Strike. Excelsior! It's the Marvel thing. Oh. Hey, Adventures. Thanks again for joining us today. Please be sure to give us a follow on your favorite podcasting platforms and YouTube. If there's any questions you'd like to write into the show, you can hit us up on Threads, Blue Sky, or Instagram. New episodes release every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for listening to True Strike.